Good day, everyone. Hope you're doing fine. I am going to talk about car insurance here in the Philippines. Let me reverse this. I am also going to take a route. The first little bit you'll notice is just close to my place. However, after that I'm going to go north and east instead of where I've usually gone. So just hang on here a second. There we go. Good morning. I heard from an expat, good morning, that was contemplating buying a car here, that at the dealership they're wanting $50,000 for the insurance. Now let me distinguish between the mandatory and comprehensive. Now when you buy a new car here, the dealer is going to give you, at least to my knowledge, most dealers will give you 3 years of registration, prepaid, as well as the mandatory insurance, which covers the victim should you hurt him in an accident. That's mandatory here, but it's minimal coverage, and also it's cheap. I mean, when I calculated it on a, say, let's just say $1 million. It was, I think it was less than $100 for, for a year, per year. I think it was like $64. Well, I mean, so you're covered there. That's all you need legally. But it won't cover you, it won't cover your vehicle. So this insurance that dealers try to sell you on, you have to be very, very cautious. I've had a few years of insurance experience, so I do have an idea what's going on. So relative to comprehensive, what they'll offer you, good morning, is a 3-year. Of course, you're going to pay that out front, realize. Now, there are other options, but let me start by saying that if you buy insurance other than the mandatory, let's call it comprehensive because that's what it is, you're going to pay substantially more. Now, the first year is up front, at least the dealers I talk to. So that'll be inclusive with your cash payment, supposedly, if that's the way you're going, which I advise, because interest rates here are atrocious. But I suppose if that's the only way you can cut it to get a new vehicle, then you'll go the loan route. But there is a commission from 30 to 45% on comprehensive insurance bought through a car dealership. Now, when I had purchased that little Suzuki truck, It was 22,000 for 1 year. 22,000 pesos. 1 year. I didn't know any better. And that's on, I guess, about 750,000, because that's what that was, that's what those little cargo vans sold for. So, I mean, you buy a couple million peso vehicle, and you're looking at more. I wouldn't say double, but you're definitely looking at more. So upon renewal, I took to the internet. There are several good companies here, but you don't look for the company name. You go to a brokerage. Each brokerage will service 3, 4, 5 insurance companies. Of course they get a commission, but it's the same thing as you walking into a State Farm office or Allstate or whoever you used back home. I mean, they're getting a little commission, 5-10%. It's around 10 with a lot of companies. Might be a lot less now. I've been out of the business for several years. But 22,000 is kind of ridiculous. So upon renewal, I took to online, and I found what I considered a reputable brokerage. You can check others out. Everything was done online, and it simplified the process. And this particular brokerage offered 4 companies that they do business with. Well, I chose the one that cost the most. It was just pesos different, one to the other, but this particular one, and I don't want to mention names because I mean, this is something that you need to decide. But you look at the background, get online, and look at their history, their experience, how many years in business. Read the opinions of people who use them, reviews, and that'll help you determine which one to go with. But it's a simple process. At any rate, the renewal with that same company that was imposed upon me by my obvious agreement upon purchase of the vehicle, renewal was 20,000. Well, may I say also, the coverage was half. Now I'm talking comprehensive, okay? Car damage, bodily injury, your own injury, etc., etc. The coverage, the other company was 1/2 of what I bought online. And may I say that the premium was also within a few pesos of 1/2. So I got out of there with 10,000 plus pesos versus 20 for twice the coverage. So what do you think? You want to risk people taking advantage of you? You know, sometimes I want to interject something here. We talk about honesty. In fact, last couple of weeks I was thinking of, I don't know why it just was on my mind so much. Just the honesty, the honor. Where is it? First of all, it needs to start with me, correct? as an individual. That's where honesty starts. Sure, it has something to do with conscience. It has something to do with humility, because you're actually being very transparent. Good morning. And what other options do you have? Honesty, loyalty, or reindeer heavy yesterday. So, are these insurance companies any different than the United States in pricing? Of course not. But perhaps on occasion, this 50,000 kind of blows me away. I don't know what he's looking at for buying a car, but even an expensive car here wouldn't exact 50,000 pesos for 1 year. And that's all you will pay for 1 year. Then, of course, there's renewal. So yes, I paid just a touch over half of what they wanted for renewal, and I got twice the coverage from a brokerage. And if you want to know what company I use, then just email me, and I'll give that to you. Now, obviously, check out these companies, as I say. There's fraud here, but there's fraud in the United States too, from every country you can shake a stick at. It's not isolated to the Philippines. I mean, you're going to get bad business people anywhere in the world. But these companies are reputable. They send you 4 quotes and with coverage. You select what you want. They write it up online, send it to you. If you approve, then you can pay them through your bank, and in pesos, of course. And the deal is set. Now, in a new vehicle, let's say crowding 1 million, which is 20,000. Good morning. It should be in the neighborhood of 8,000. Let me take that back. On 800,000 peso vehicle, say. It'll be in the neighborhood of 15,000 from a brokerage. That's the best coverage available on comprehensive. Again, the mandatory is free, right? After 3 years, when the registration hits renewal time, then you're going to have to cough that other $64 or whatever it is, or $100 to renew annually, which is peanuts. But that comprehensive can eat you. And yes, that's business, whether here or in the United States, as far as the premiums. Is that company dishonest, asking 50,000 from that gentleman? Morning. Well, I haven't seen the contract. It would be for the first year, but that's what he indicated. Unfortunately, I hope he's not likely to watch this channel, or he might. I hope he does, but he might. Good morning. It's a busy road. Busy road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where does that go? Just
Actually, subdivision.
to other houses?
You can pass by here.
Oh, you can't go that way? No.
It's closed already.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, there's another one I have a mind to. I'm going to go down that one. I can always turn around, right? Nice green grass from the rain. I'm going to guess it's 80 out right now. And I'm walking pretty fast, so when I get back, I'm pretty much wet. Morning. That's why a shower is so inviting if you have water. So the other sticker or stinker about buying from a dealer, if you don't read every line of the contract, you might get yourself in trouble because most of these will, you'll just sign away the option, your option to use somebody else on the second or third year. When you sign, if you don't know what you're signing, you should take the time to do it, even if it takes you a day. Look at the paperwork, because what a lot of these companies do is they lock you in for 3 years at that premium. Yeah. So if there's any place you need to read paperwork, then it's here. And the difference can be amazing as far as premium goes. Looks like this is very private, but I'm going to try it. I'll start into it and see what happens here. If it's too private, I'll turn around. Well, I'll keep going here a little bit. So read the contract. Same with leases, because they can lock you in too. And there's no mercy once you sign. There's really nice lessors, and there's ones that aren't so jovial, aren't so honest. I have a good one, thankfully, but you need to read the contract, or you might get yourself in some deep troubles. Here's some goats and kids. See them, boy, they clean up the weeds. That's what they eat first. I didn't know that. Yeah, interesting. Morning. Oh, I know where this is now. Okay, well, I'm going to go back. There's a little bit down there, but I know where that's dead end, so I'm just going to go back to the main road here. So don't be careless when it relates to insurance, your car insurance. Get online. Don't be lazy. You'll save a bunch of money, and you'll get better coverage. I know a gentleman who bought a vehicle, a Chinese vehicle. And by the way, there are a couple brands there out here. There's at least a dozen of them in the Philippines. But the two prominent ones are one is Changan. Yeah, it's a Chinese name, all right. It's a government owned entity, but they are giving tremendous discounts to initiate that vehicle here in the Philippines. They had sold the same vehicle in other countries for a few years, and now it's here. With the current exchange, you can get a mid-sized SUV. We call them crossovers in the States because they're not a full size, but they're not the little one either. You can get one for $13,000. Yes, you heard it right. They're given, like I say, they're given 100,000 peso cash discount, and I mean, at today's rates, that's actually below 13,000, or at the worst case scenario, right at 13,000. The proposed insurance on that vehicle, different company than what I had in the Suzuki truck. Half coverage again, and they wanted. Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. They wanted 20,000 plus. And again, you don't have to take their insurance. They will push it because that's 35, 40% to 45% commission, if not for the salesperson, for the dealership. So what would you do? So be aware, eyes open, take your time. The deal will be there tomorrow. They want to sell cars. Look at the insurance contract. If they won't give it to you to look at, then maybe you can move on or just get online. That's if you want comprehensive. You don't have to take that insurance at all, but they'll make it sound like it's part of the package. The government mandatory coverage to cover victims in an accident, that is mandatory, but they'll pay for that. And it's usually 3 years. Same with the registration. In fact, you can't renew unless you reinstate that mandatory insurance. So, just a heads up. I hope that gentlemen would see this and have an open mind, because you can save a lot of money. And what's the point of being taken advantage of? Because that's what I think it is. When you don't have to. Certainly it's legal. But everything legal not necessarily is the best way to go. So honesty, well, I think he's curious about my stick. Well, I hope he doesn't try it. What about honesty in relationships? I think the one I had here, I am thankful that there is no issue there. I'm very careful with cash, extremely cautious as far as where is it, what I've spent, and I can say that nothing was stolen from me. That is, anything that I noticed, at least. And like I say, I'm a stickler when it comes to honesty, etc. So, but you can run into the opposite very easily. I heard one gentleman, in fact, he was from Norway, talked to him 4 years ago, Morning, how are you? And he had a companion he thought was very nice and all, but he intentionally left change out here and there, and he kept track of it, and one day more substantial amount of change was gone. So he watched another day, and a week later, same thing occurred. So he didn't say that he confronted the person, but what he did do, one day, he got her suitcase, packed it himself right in front of her, and said, "Okay, this is why you're leaving." So there's all types here, online especially, on dating sites, the pictures. Oh my goodness. They put 15, 20-year-old pictures on there, you know, when they're all nice, young and trim and sexy, etc. And then when you meet them, you're looking around for that girl or close to it. And here's something else walks up to you that you least expect. It's not the same. It's not only aggravating, it's embarrassing. What do? Accommodate it? Well, I'm pretty tough on not being forthright. So I explain to them, I show them the pictures. I says, this isn't you, this is 15, 20 years ago. So it'd be better if you were honest, and then we wouldn't even have to bother with this appointment. There's a guy there, he's look like he's making blocks. He make blocks, looks like he has a little bit of a sawmill there too. But some of them do like 100 blocks per bag of cement. At 85, I learned from when I was building that house for the part of the wall up on top of the footer, anything more than 85 is, you can break it in your hand. You need the less, obviously, the less number of blocks per bag of cement is going to be a stronger block, correct? I suppose if you were to fill each cavity full of cement, then, and with re-rod, etc., which I did anyway, then maybe there wouldn't be an issue. But for 1 or 2 pesos a block, or 3 pesos per block difference in cost, why wouldn't you go that route? Now here's what happened to me, speaking of honesty. When I went to this particular place, they showed me 2 or 3 blocks. I looked at them, I dropped one, looked solid. What they brought me, I could break with my hands. So there you go. There is games played here too. But back to relationships, honesty is a big deal. I mean, I would anticipate everyone would want someone with some honor, some credibility, but you're going to find that most Filipinos are that. They're honest. They're humble. That's maybe for another day, that alley. And I mean, let's face it, there's always exceptions. But I'm not speaking of the ones online now. I'm speaking for ones you meet in person, which, by the way, is the best way. This online business, I gave up on it a few times in the past. Recently, I was on again, and 1 month, and that was it, because there's just too much that you don't know. They can sell you on, as I indicated, 15, 20-year-old pics. They can sell you on anything. Whether they have kids or not, they'll indicate no. But in the pic, there's a little child or the feet of a little child, and you ask how old the child is, and then they suddenly realize that you're not stupid, and they just block you because they won't admit to lying, of course. So I'm not sure what I guess I'm making a U-turn here. So you're going to find all types, all situations vary. And the best advice I could have given myself 5 years ago, is get here, then look around. Meet in person, and you'll eliminate those surprises and the frustration of time spent with no equity. So so much for honesty, and mind you, it's conversely, if you so wait a minute here, I wonder where that goes. If you lie to a Filipina, you're finished. One lie. That's a mainer road there. I know what that is. Traffic's very heavy. So we'll split through here. So you want honesty? Well, be honest then, right? Be straightforward. It's not a popular thing. Because honesty your honesty will reveal what you are. And maybe that's humbling sometime. Is there another way to go? Yeah, but you'll be covering your tracks indefinitely. I mean, what credibility is there in that? Not only will you be humbled sometime by being honest and revealing what you are and what you are not, but you can lose friends for being honest. There's a saying about truth, which is a synonym. Everybody wants truth, but nobody wants to be honest. So There you go. Well, looks like a pretty private place here. There's a big dog that I wouldn't want to go on the fence, but you let him out and he'll run. This looks okay. This is off of Manor Street. Behind me, the one you saw, and then there's one to my left here somewhere. This might come back out, might be a U. We'll see. But yeah, you know, you're going to encounter what you are. And dishonesty, I mean, if you maintain honor, you can detect something dishonorable very quickly. It's called discernment. Don't be flattered by the beauty, because when that beauty empties your pockets, if it should, you won't remember any beauty anymore. Yeah. And no, I haven't been there, but I could have been if I would have pursued some of these beautiful women online. And they're using their beauty to extract what they can from you. So stay away from them is my advice. You're going to do what you want to do. I learned the hard way, and you probably will too. Of course, I wasn't watching YouTube then, and I should have been, because I would have seen these issues and what to look out for long before I encountered any issue, the way I went about it. So yeah, you lose time, you lose some money if you're a giver, and there's a nice house back in there. Pretty big, isn't it? Really nice. Private. Mountains in the background. That's the size of jeepney you're going to see here in Dumaguete. That's as big as they get. I have never seen a big one that you find in the bigger cities. So I've only seen these smaller ones. But I've never tried to get in one. I did try to get in one of these small ones in Mindanao, and I had to put my head on my knees because my head was hitting the hot roof. No insulation, no nothing, just cross members and tin. And it's uncomfortable as all get out. So your knees are in your face and your head is on your knees. So that's an easy one to figure out. Yeah. Poor people do anything for a dollar. It's a hard life. That's why I think when you do get an honest Filipina, don't overdo it on gifts, because that you're going to create a pattern of need. So be careful there. Now, I've shown you this. This is sugar cane, and right there, it has to be 8.5, 9 feet. So that's sugar cane, and you've seen it from the other side after they harvested it, I believe, which they do by hand here. That was all done by hand, machetes.
Pretty much you're getting a
lots of those little cafes. It's called street food. And you have to be careful. Because, you know what, I'm going to cut across here. I don't know if this, where this goes. What's that say? Oh, RTO Hardware? Construction supplies? Oh, I want to see what it's all about. At least where it's at. Sometimes it's these smaller companies that give you a better deal, especially on bulk. If you know, if they're big enough to handle bulk, they'll probably be able to give you a better deal than Wilcon, for example. Some decent-sized dogs here. Some empty lots. Little house under construction. Looks like it's about the end of the road here. I don't know if I can get through there now. There's a path. Let's see where it goes. Oh, it's got 2 little apartments. Oh, that's cool. Very small. Well, it's quiet as compared to the street we're on. And where is this located? Well, I'm located about 2 to 3 kilometers from downtown and the boardwalk, but it takes you anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes depending on traffic, and it's not a straight shot, so that's what takes the time. Yeah, this is dead end, so I'm gonna, and that's private too, so I'll just go back. Well, where's that construction outfit? The supply. I don't see one. Something you'll notice in the Philippines, signs will be up, and nobody had been there associated with that business for years, but the sign's still there. Same as if you get on the web looking for a rental, that listing might be a year old. A true realtor, a licensed realtor, would be more mindful of that and take their ads down. But those who just want to attract clientele that are not licensed, as I mentioned before, there's no, there's nothing hindering them from leaving it on, an old ad. So I suggest strongly using the licensed realtor. They'll say, well, yeah, my broker is licensed. Well, of course a broker is. The broker's in business to make money. So anybody who sells, if it's legal, they get a little bit of commission, whatever they can work out of the broker. So deal with a real estate, licensed real estate agent. Well, it's interesting to me how people live. So that's why I like to get off the main road. Apartments here too, and there, 2 buildings in a row. So look for areas that have substantial availability. That's where the prices usually are less. You get into an exclusive area, not many rentals, you're going to pay more, obviously. That's just a numbers game. Remember, real estate, location, location, location. So important for seller and buyer, or lessor. So, oh, there's some, what looks like townhouse layout there. That's on the, not sure what street that's on. Oh, it's getting pretty hot. There's a tank there. These guys probably have a tank here too. They're going to need it. If you want water all day in this area, you're going to need a tank and pump and pressure tank. That's the bottom line. The neighbor's trying to rent out that place. No pressure tank. No tank, no nothing. So he's going to, the people who rent that are going to be facing water issues. Nothing definitely nothing after 9 a.m. It's turned on at 5 at a dribble, believe me. And it cuts around 8:30 at 9. Well, my goodness, you can pee faster. So that's what we face in this area. It's amazing. I know that building right there, that beige one, it has tanks. Just can't see them. I talked to an American there. And there's a tank up that corner there, you notice. So most have tanks. That is in homes of a little more value. I don't see one here, but I'm not seeing the other side of the road either. So. Mosquito breeding grounds. And this, there you go, half-inch line. See that? Coming into that property, half-inch line. That's what you're gonna get. Well, so much for honesty. Like I say, it can hurt you. Let me give you a couple examples. Before leaving the States, I talked to a couple of banks, and as soon as they heard I was moving to the Philippines permanently, they refused accounts, and that's from all the 3 big ones: Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. What you want to do is open an account and keep your mouth shut. Excuse me for the brashness. As long as you have an American address, you're going to need that now. That gives you a legitimate address, not a box number. You will get a number associated with the street, but they don't call it a box, so that it's legit. The one I use is traveling mailbox. Good morning. Traveling mailbox. I know several people who use it. I'm happy with it. They'll scan if you want them to. They'll delete if you want them to. They'll forward if you want them to. And by the way, my banks wouldn't send credit cards here. So I sent everything to the traveling mailbox. They just put the whole, after I had them open it and determine it was something I wanted, you forward it, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks. But they've come, they've arrived. So that's the only way you're going to receive credit cards here, unless you have somebody pick up your mail in the States and send them to you, which is a huge hassle, but that's up to you. And as far as the phone number, you should have an American phone number. I advise you not to use phone number, companies like Talk You, for example. I use them for a year. It's one way. When they send you a code to get into an account, any entity, you can't get the code because it's one way. You can talk all you want to the United States, but that's, I mean, what big help is that? So I was super frustrated until I talked to some guys that used Magic Jack, and that's what I'm on now. It's dirt cheap, a lot cheaper, and it's two-way. And so you need those two things to not arouse suspicion of banks in the United States and the government too. So maintain those that address, that phone number. You can, with Magic Jack, you can transfer the phone number. Your current, it has to be active. Remember that, an active phone number. You can transfer it for like $19.95 one time. So it's a good deal. I try to use an inactive number, and the system won't accept it. And it stands to reason. Even though nobody else has that number or has used it, I'm not sure why they didn't pull it from me, but it's still on my name in the States. But it's okay. At any rate, I'm getting to the end of my road here, and this is about where I started from. I'm going to shut it down, and thank you for joining me. If you have any questions about anything, my email address is under more, lowercase. You won't see I mean, when we look at it, we see description, but you won't see that title. You'll see more. So tap more, and it'll give you everything else you need to know. My email address is there, and I'd be happy to answer any questions, address anything. As you know, I touched on some very sensitive topics recently, and I'm going to give it to you. You want the truth, you're going to get it. It might hurt me, might lose subscribers, because people don't like, for the most part, people aren't honest with themselves. That's where it starts. And so anything that they don't want to listen to, they'll turn you off. And by the way, if you subscribe and you don't want to listen to me anymore, which I don't blame you for, I don't see who unsubscribes. I don't see who subscribes unless you have a channel, then the name shows. But it's pretty much anonymous, so please help me out. We climbed to 30% of views, so that's a little bit of an encouragement. I'd like to see it at 60 or 70%, but that's maybe wishful thinking. But so much for car insurance and honesty. So until next time, take care. Bye now.